takes charge and he shows that he's logical.
Same people. That's number two. That's all theater. This is WWF.
That was built by slaves, a land that was built by indigenous people, a land that is built by workers. Are you prepared to defend this land? The people united will always prevail. I need you all to stand firm, to stand strong. If this president decides to continue to break this Constitution, are you prepared to defend this?
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
I'm Kamal.
I'm Mia.
I'm Skeptic.
I'm Heaven.
And I'm Enzo.
And tonight on the new party, we have a lot to break down. In that very first clip, we see Mayor Johnson appearing to incite violence. I mean, like in 2021, when the Republicans said it was an insurrection. So, Gray, our resident Democrat on the panel, what do you think about what he said? You going to go take up charge and fight for your country?
That was a little bit extreme. I wouldn't necessarily say that was necessarily the route to take. I feel like you could just let it play out in court, or see what Trump does, and if he messes up, then the public can be the judge.
Wow. Well, I got an even better clip for everybody, and then we can all react to it. Here he's talking about why he's seeing problems. He's blaming everyone but his leadership.
Toward progress. However, we will never be able to end gun violence in Chicago as long as the president continues to allow tens of thousands of guns to be trafficked into our state and our city. The vast majority of guns do not come from Chicago. They are not made in Cook County. They are not bought in the state of Illinois. These guns come from red states. They are coming from Indiana. They are coming from Mississippi. They are coming from Louisiana. And that is the harsh reality, whether Republicans like it or not. Occupying our city will do nothing to solve this problem. No matter how much work we do or how hard we work, whether it's expanding our Detectives Bureau, investing in community violence intervention, and addressing the root causes of crime, none of it will ever be enough until the president decides to end the mass trafficking of guns in our city. For every gun that the Chicago Police Department fights to get off the streets, 2 or 3 more new guns come into our city. Chicago will continue to have a violence problem as long as red states continue to have a gun problem. Shootings will continue as long as this presidential administration continues to put politics over people. We have sued Glock over their semi-automatic guns that are easily converted into automatic weapons with switches. We have taken down gun stores in Indiana that illegally sell thousands of guns to traffickers who move them into Chicago. But whatever we shut down, and whenever we do this, another one pops up. The governor has worked extremely hard to strengthen our gun control laws across our state. And as much as we would like to, we cannot send officers across state lines to stop this problem at the source. We only have jurisdiction over our own city. The governor only has jurisdiction over our state lines. It is the role, more importantly, the responsibility of the federal government and the president to stop the trafficking of weapons across state lines. For every shooting in Chicago, there is a gun trafficker in Mississippi making money. There is a gun trafficker in Louisiana profiting off of our pain. And this is a serious problem that has gone on for far too long, and it requires serious solutions. We wrote a letter to President Biden after a mass shooting in Chicago 2 years ago, asking for more resources to stop gun violence in our city by deploying federal agents to hold these gun traffickers accountable. President Biden responded with more resources and stronger enforcement, and that alone had a significant impact on gun violence in our city. We need President Trump to do the same.
So they need President Trump to do the same, yet they don't want President Trump to send in the National Guard. Enzo, he said a whole lot of mumbo jumbo. What do you think about what he said?
I couldn't tell if I was listening to a Kamala speech or him, because it was just a bunch of words with no meaning and nothing behind it. Man, Trump is giving you the keys to the castle to clean up your streets, and you're saying that you will incite violence. What kind of horse shit is that? The issue is not the red states, because, okay, somebody like me, right? I can go from Jersey to PA with my gun and get stopped there. That's technically trafficking, right? Why don't you stop making your state a gun-free state and a gun-free zone? Because obviously criminals aren't going to pay attention to gun-free zones. You're going to have more violence in a gun-free state than a state that has open carry, that is a state that you're allowed to have guns. It is the stupidest thing of blame the gun, blame the gun, blame the gun, instead of blaming the fucking criminals and the fucking people. Crack down on the fucking criminals. Crack down on people coming across your state. That's simple. Coming into your city.
Silence.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Well,
That's probably what Trump was thinking when he heard that. I'm going to let Democrat go. Skeptic, what do you think about his speech? Do you agree with what he said? Is it the red state's fault?
So like I get what he's saying, because I do think that we have like mixed data, right? When we talk about gun control and we talk about crime statistics. So in some form, even though you may have a city that has very strict gun laws, you have towns and states around it that have very relaxed gun laws. And so you're always going to have those illegal guns being moved over. So it is a nationwide issue. I do think that we can move forward and have smarter gun laws, or maybe put in some provisions without necessarily trampling on your Second Amendment right? I do think there are some changes that we can do that could make things kind of make sense. And I know the whole conceal thing is an argument that people have, but if we're seeing that it's one type of gun that's being used for mass unalivings, I feel like maybe putting restrictions on that particular gun would even help with that. Like something needs to be done. So I can see what he's saying. When it comes to crime, again, I do think that it's a dog whistle. Like I see now that a lot of cities that are Democratic ran and that have a lot of Black and brown people as far as demographic goes are now being singled out as the worst cities in the US. When in reality, when we look down at, crime statistics, why isn't Alaska being viewed? Alaska has a lot of white murderers. Why are we doing nothing about this? We're not worried about states that have high crime. We're worried about these cities because we want to infiltrate the government that they have. We want to infiltrate the mayor. So I see what he's saying in some way. I do think that there's a lot of like underlying dog whistles that have some racism attached to them and why they're going after these cities.
And I fact checked you, Skeptic. But Skeptic is right. I gotta give it when it's right. She's right. They are substantially higher for violent crime in Alaska. It probably has to do with the weather too, and like the sun. They don't have sun 6 months out the year. Mia, somebody that lives in the tundra, what's your thoughts on what she said and Mayor Johnson?
I do live in the tundra. So I think it's crazy that this Mayor Johnson, let's start with, he only has a 6.6% approval rating. To begin with, nobody likes him, and I see why. This man acts like we don't have Google. He is completely lying when it comes to Illinois' production of guns. I mean, Illinois themselves produced 607,000 weapons. They have multiple firearm manufacturing plants in Illinois alone. They represented 4.5% of all mass production guns in the United States. This one state produced all that. So I don't understand why he's lying about the truth. The truth is Illinois has plenty of guns. These guns are not coming from red states in. They're legitimately being produced by Illinoisans. I'm so confused why he's gonna lie about this. That's so crazy to me to sit there and lie we don't know. I mean, one manufacturer alone produced 562,000 firearms in 2022 alone in Illinois. So let's be real. The guns aren't crossing into state lines. They're being produced in the next county over. I hate when people lie, especially about the 2A. Buddy, we all have Google. We'll fact check you. Don't blame the red states. If you don't like what's going on in your own state, lobby to your governor. But the simple fact of the matter is Illinois produces hundreds of thousands of weapons. They're not coming in from red states. Don't be throwing dirt on our names over here in red states, bro. You have your own problems. Follow it yourself.
Damn. All right. Kamal, as somebody that comes from the bluest state in the country and somebody that has seen a lot, well, not you, but your state has seen a lot of gun violence. What is your thoughts? Because at one point, LA and places like that was the capital for gun violence in America.
Yeah, and I lived in Oakland in the 90s. Just to paint a picture for y'all. But you motherfuckers in the chat funny today. God damn. Somebody said, hold on, let me find it. When innocent individuals are being stabbed, I never see or hear anyone advocating for the ban of all knives. God damn. What? Jesus Christ, you got a point. You feel me? Maybe in the UK, they probably advocate for, less sword play and knife fights and shit like that. I hate to say it because sometimes this brother be speaking Sambanese, but Chris Rock was right. Make the bullets $1 million. You might see gun crime go down significantly at this point. It's hella guns here. It will always be hella guns here. Ain't no stopping it. It's like having a house infested with roaches. Once they in that bitch, you better just ask and they pay rent. All right? Make them bullets cost hella money. Watch people start thinking, do I really want to shoot this motherfucker? Is he worth $20,000 a bullet? Because $20,000 is a lot of money. People going to start rethinking I don't know if I want to shoot this motherfucker for $20,000. He getting on my motherfucking nerves. But yeah, let's stop with the gun shit and the red states. Going to bring the guns to the blue states. Blasey. Guns is being transferred everywhere in the United States of goddamn America. All right? Make them bullets. Hey, get them bullets up. And Brandon Johnson been on bullshit. I almost threw up hearing the horse shit from his mouth. Y'all saw he try to slip in there our lineage struggle to try to pass his goddamn democratic policies.
Yes.
Built by slaves too. That's why we shouldn't have any guns.
Kamal, this is how it landed. Look.
For real, I'm like, man, what is going on, man?
Sound effects.
You feel me?
Gotta remind you. Heaven, what's your thoughts? Did it land well? Did you see his point, or did he fail like the African in the shot?
Just like every other person in politics lately, no accountability. No one wants to take accountability at all. It is your city. Yes, then make some changes. If not, stop crying.
Hey, she landed the plane fast. She dropped the facts.
That shit was a jet. That wasn't a plane. That was a jet.
It was a boom.
Look. Foreign bullets be a lot of money, and I like my guns. Okay, I have multiple, and they're pretty and engraved. But neither here nor there. That is great gun control idea, because guns don't kill people, and they can also be 3D printed, so it doesn't matter where they're made. Yeah, I didn't need to say all that. Y'all got that point.
I mean, everybody said everything, so I agree. There's nothing more to say. He was a joke. What he said was
occasionally I can land a plane somewhere.
Okay, guys. So I believe in balance and fairness here at the new party. So just like we gave it to old Mayor Johnson, we could talk about Ron DeSantis. So this week in Florida, a lot of people are fired up. They're mad, especially because I don't know if you guys know this, but we are the home of one of the biggest mass shootings in America, Pulse nightclub. It was about 6-7 years ago, and it was an unthinkable act where someone went in and unalived over 40 people, and many were injured. So due to that, they created a memorial for Pulse nightclub, and now Ron DeSantis has imposed a new law that many people are upset about, and we can break it down and talk about it tonight. Here in this clip, it talks about the protesters that are being arrested for changing the paint. Let me play it for you.
At the crosswalk just outside of the Pulse nightclub here in Orlando put in handcuffs. Our West 2 crew followed the remaining protesters as they marched tonight from Pulse crosswalk all the way to Orlando City Hall. West 2's Haley Crumblehome is live there this evening. And Haley, things have calmed down quite a bit tonight, but more protests are sure to come.
Yeah, that's right, Luana. Hearing from some of those protesters tonight, that was certainly a part of the conversation, was what comes next? What are we going to do next? Where do we take this next? And when they marched here to City Hall, they used chalk here as well. They wrote things like, "Chalk is not a crime, and you can't erase us." Now, this march here, of course, came after 3 people were arrested at that crosswalk outside of Pulse. You could see 3 people being led away in handcuffs Sunday near the formerly Rainbow Crosswalk. Now, all 3 were loaded into Florida Highway Patrol cruisers, and they could be seen chalking the blank sidewalk back to its rainbow colors just minutes before. Blake Simons, an attorney with Simons Law Firm, represented the first protester to be arrested at the crosswalk Friday, Sebastian Suarez. He was released from jail after a judge found FHP had no probable cause to arrest him for his actions on Friday. Simons says he will be representing those arrested by FHP today.
We got Sebastian out for no probable cause under Florida Statute 316.0775. I returned after Sebastian was released for no probable cause, came out here to support the community that I am part of, informed the officers that just made those arrests that the case was just thrown out for lack of probable cause. Do you guys intend to continue arresting people unlawfully? They said yes.
Now, we witnessed some contentious interactions between troopers and protesters Sunday, and we reached out to FDOT and FHP Sunday night for comment. We last heard from FDOT Friday after reaching out about the potential for protesters to be arrested if they chalked the crosswalk. They responded saying vandalizing state property and or disrupting traffic in any way is unsafe and illegal. These illegal actions will not be tolerated and will be fully enforced by law enforcement. And we just got this in the last half hour or so. We now have the mugshots of the 3 people arrested today. Zane Aparicio, Donovan Short, and Mary Jane going to be representing them. He tells us that he expects they will be making their first appearances in court tomorrow morning. Covering Orange County Live.
So pretty much to give backstory before we all respond, Senate Bill 1662 was signed by Governor DeSantis in mid-June 2025. It directly impacted the Florida Department of Transportation to enforce uniform traffic policy. So due to that, Ron DeSantis has then said he's going to remove it, like any paintings, anything like on the ground, like the ones you guys saw in DC. And so as somebody that lives in Florida and our resident MAGA Republican, what is your thoughts on DeSantis doing this?
DeSantis is a fucking radical. Let's say that. Like, you're talking about something painted on the ground after one of the worst mass shootings in the United States in history. One of the many things that I don't agree with DeSantis and why I wouldn't vote for him in the 2024 election when he ran. He's a radical, and just imagine that 50 statewide. He did a lot of good for Florida, I'll say that. But I mean, just the direction that he's going with all of this. Like, I didn't agree with the "Don't Say Gay" bill that they put forward in Florida whatsoever. I mean, certain aspects of it I agree with, but altogether, no. Like banning certain books in Florida, didn't agree with that either. I'm just gonna chalk it up to him just being a radical.
Damn. Well, maybe you and Skeptic might have something y'all agree on. I'm about to call on her next. Skeptic, what's your thoughts? You agree with Enzo? Is he a radical, or do you think that we should remove the crosswalks for safety?
He is a radical, and I will say Republicans can no longer claim that they're for small government, because in Texas, they just want to do things to make us unhappy. Like, they just like, why? Okay, here we are talking about actual history being erased, and this whitey man, I don't care what his last name is worried about a sidewalk. Like, it's kind of crazy and petty. And I'll say here in Texas where I live, they're going to outlaw flavored vapes. Like, why? They just want to make you uncomfortable. Like, they really want to make your life a little bit less comfortable. Like, they're going to outlaw the like weed pens that were whatever THC or whatever they were. So it's like, it's just crazy why you have the time to worry about this when you should be worrying about actual things that matter. Like, it's just, you want to provoke people to be angry and to be uncomfortable and not be able to live their life. Like, for the party that claims to be small government or not want, all of these intrusions into your personal life, is giving you lost what you stood for.
Oof. Wow. Mia, do you agree? What's your thoughts?
I mean, I don't understand why they couldn't have just made an exception for this one particular sidewalk or set of sidewalks in that building, or at minimum, maybe put a different memorial up there to replace it and just do a compromise. Be like, we have to get rid of this to bring it to code, but I'm going to replace it with this. I mean, there is a way to compromise, and it just seems like nobody wanted to. And to be honest, considering like 50 people died. I feel like it's kind of rude of them to just completely glaze over that, try to erase it, and not try to give them something else to replace it, which would have been a much better compromise. I feel like it's a little extreme.
Well, I'm going to play Ron DeSantis's response and for his explanation why it was banned, and then I'll let the rest of the team respond. This is actually from today. This was at a press conference that he did where he responded.
Commandeer someone else's property. You have a First Amendment right to paint your own property and knock yourself out if that's what you want to do. But when you have a state crosswalk or a state road, the law in the state of Florida is now that there's not markings, or that's not going to be used for those purposes. FDOT issued a memo to explain that a couple months ago. Everybody's been on notice about that. But, this is kind of an instructive civics lesson here. You do not have a right to take somebody else's property for your messaging purposes. Like, that's never been what the First Amendment has said. And, we just got to be clear on that. And I'd also say, I've approved a lot of money for a Pulse Memorial. Where is it? Why haven't they gotten that done? A lot of money has been frittered away over the years. I think I'm certainly supportive of an actual fitting memorial for people that were murdered that day. One of the most horrific mass killings in American history. Yeah, I've approved a lot of money for that over the years. But that's not for some crosswalk. That's not to do those other things that are different from state law. So look, what I will say is this: most places in Florida, 95%, and there were other things that were marking before this bill went in. We had Blue Lives Matter, which, I've been supportive of that. But, we're not going to use our roads for that, right? And so hang up a flag, do what you want on your building, your house, however you want to do it. but we're not going to be doing that on our state roadways. And I think this is the best policy. I think it's just, some of the stuff that was going on, over the last couple of years, it's just, it's too much to have this. And then what'll happen is it creates safety hazards. One, people just seeing it, but then you have some people who may disagree with the message, and then they're incentivized to try to peel out or something. Now they get held, but it's just, why are we even, going down this road? So we are going to make sure that, that law is enforced in an even-handed way. I don't care what your message is. Use it by yourself. You can say it. You can project it how you want on your property. You can do all the things that we've always been able to do, but just don't use other people's property.
So now that we have a very clear explanation from Governor DeSantis, Gray, and you are a Floridian, what's your thoughts? Do you agree with this, or do you think that he was a radical, like Enzo said?
I think Ron DeSantis is trying to stay relevant. Trump endorsed Byron Donalds to be the governor. He ignored DeSantis' wife. And then DeSantis still went down there at Alligator Alcatraz and still did a photo op with Trump. And DeSantis and his wife are being accused of Medicaid fraud for when they had the money diverted to $10 million diverted to a charity that she was overseeing. So I think Ron DeSantis is using these tactics to stay relevant, to still be talked about, because he was supposed to be the next guy in MAGA. He was supposed to take it on after Trump was done. And he did that by Me Too. He did that in St. Pete. He covered up the pride stuff over here. And even though Florida's very red, Florida's very gay. There's a lot of gay people out here. There's a lot of gay stuff going on.
Heaven, what do you think? Do you agree?
Where's all the money that he said was going to something? He should probably find that. If they were going to do an actual memorial, maybe that's something he should look at, considering that's government taxpayer money, instead of worrying about where people are painting. Why don't you find that tax money that you just said you had to put aside?
It was Medicaid fraud. It was a charity
for the Pulse. Yeah, he was just saying that he had given money for an actual memorial for the Pulse nightclub. So where's that? That's taxpayer money. If you're saying that's missing too, so maybe we should look into that, and you shouldn't worry about what citizens are painting. You should find that government money, because that's that waste, fraud, and abuse that everybody likes to talk about. It doesn't matter, red state, blue state, they all do it.
Damn. Kamal, what do you think? You think this is too radical? I mean, you're from the state where it's like everything's okay. You could put any flag up you want. You could paint, you could spray paint, as long as it's freedom of expression. It's like the Wild Wild West where you're from.
And I'll say this. I really don't give a fuck about him pulling up the goddamn gay blocks and shit like that. But this give me an opportune time to talk about this honky. Ron DeSantis gets on my motherfucking nerves. And it's a very opportune time to play this goddamn drop right here. Y'all wanted me to play more sound effects.
It's just Tuesday. The same old cracker.
And it is just Tuesday. And it is the same ass cracker saying the same ass bullshit. All right? God damn, I almost threw up when you said Ron DeSantis' name. You feel me? And then I didn't even know he over here crying because Trump ain't endorsing him. He sound like a bittered widow or something. Like, he's like, oh my God, Trump, why you don't endorse me? Man, this motherfucker is a failure as a politician at this point. So he doing anything and everything to stay in the limelight. You feel me? But off this subject, I gotta clown somebody in the chat, because I dare you call Gray a monkey with your weak ass. Only monkey is the one that we see is your mom fucking. And I'm about to call Peter on her ass. Now, Mighty Squishy 6'9", I dare you call this black man a monkey. You motherfucker. Anyway, back to Ron DeSantis. You feel me? Look, we see the writing on the wall. He not getting endorsed by Trump. And at the end of the day, when politicians start losing, they got to go to drastic measures. All right? That's all I got to say.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
As the resident Italian guy, we don't claim DeSantis. He is white.
He's not.
We don't claim him.
He didn't go into the white category.
Yeah, he's not one of us.
Enzo's Italian. He stayed with the Italians. He didn't differentiate. DeSantis, on the other hand, he's white.
But like, why does he have so much animosity against the gay community? Like, I don't get it. People that have that much interest, I feel like there's a internal issue. Yeah, he's like really hyper focused on the gay community. Like, dude, just be who you want to be. Like, why are you so? You know what I mean?
Okay,
like,
listen.
why do you have so much focus for that? Because like I don't sit there and hate on the gay community. Like it doesn't really. I'm not sitting there like, oh, you know what I would really like to do this weekend? Go and paint over the rainbow sidewalk. Like who? What? Why is this what you're thinking about? I'm just, just saying.
Well, y'all, I live in Florida. I'm gonna be real with you. I love the fact that people can't block the highways when they protest. I don't want people drawing in the streets. I'm actually okay with this. I just wish he protected this one place, like Enzo said, because those people lost their lives and it affected the entire community. Like I know people personally that saw people unalive that day because they were first responders or they worked at the police station. So it affected the entire Orlando area. We gave blood, we did things. That was my only thing that's my only complaint.
And I mean, at the end of the day, nobody died from the protest. So it seems successful to me, right?
Which one? Oh, the protest here in Florida?
Yeah, nobody got shot with a bean bag, a pellet gun.
No, we don't have violent protests like that because, again, I appreciate Ron DeSantis for those reasons. So I guess I'll be the lone person. Enzo, I'm just kidding.
FHP, don't play around.
That's what I'm saying. Like I love Florida. I feel safe. I'm appreciative for Ron. However, I don't agree with what he did with the AP classes, and I'll leave it at that. Okay, guys, so we're going to switch gears here. We're going to go to the main story of the night. Well, one of the main stories, and it's regarding Trump. Today, guys, I was proven wrong. Trump's not dead. Well, I didn't think he was dead, but he's not as sick as I thought. So thank God Trump is okay. Let me start with that. But in this clip, Trump made an announcement today regarding Venezuela. And I'm going to play it now so we can talk about it. Here we go.
You'll see that we just, over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat. And you'll be seeing that and you'll be reading about that. It just happened moments ago. And our great general, head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who's been so incredible, including what took place in Iran, knocking out potential nuclear power for a long time to come. I think within a month they would have had it. We didn't do what we did. But he gave us a little bit of a briefing, and you'll see. And there's more where that came from. We have a lot of drugs pouring into our country, coming in for a long time. And we just, these came out of Venezuela. And coming out very heavily from Venezuela. A lot of things are coming out of Venezuela. So we took it out, and you'll get to see that after this meeting is over.
So yeah, this was the big announcement today. Well, two big announcements. One, he announced that they are moving the Space Force base from Colorado to Alabama. And two, he just snuck that in there. Heaven was watching. Heaven, you were not expecting to hear that. So now that we clarified what happened, what is your thoughts on us basically using our military to fight the cartel?
I didn't even catch it because it wasn't very clear. We got this boat. It had drugs in it, lots of drugs. We just got this boat. Okay. Our general did it. It was great. Okay. Thanks, random. I didn't even catch it. Not, hey, we attacked a vessel off of the coast of Venezuela carrying narcotics or insert, I think that this is not an escalation that anyone globally needs. But I do think we need the Epstein list.
Well, it came out today, and supposedly they dropped names, so we'll be breaking that down later this week. But yeah, it came out today. Yeah, exactly. So were their names in the Enzo?
Yeah, there's names. And I put it
Oh,
through. I put it through. It's 33,000 pages. Not everyone's gonna read it. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be redacted to hell. I scrolled
is
through
it?
at least like 2,000 files thus far. There's more redactions on Chris's paperwork from J6 than this.
Wow. So Heaven, you
Yeah,
got your
Send
wish.
it to me?
So pull your
Yes, send it to me,
now.
please, because you know who will read
I
that?
got you. I got you.
Someone who did HR for the government.
Oh
I'll
no,
read
I'm going
every
through everything
page.
myself. I want to go through it.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
will go line by line. I'll print it all out, make myself a
Mhm.
nice little book.
It's 30,000 pages, and there's still more to come
Yeah.
out supposedly. But from what I've read, make it real short. They've already said most everything that's in there has already been put out already. So it's like 3 times over.
I just want
But
to
there
see
are
who's on the
names:
list. What's the names you've seen?
Clinton, Kevin Spacey, I have a whole list. The names that we already know.
Oh, so the usual suspects?
That's
Yeah,
convenient.
the usual suspects.
The
It took
usual
them how long?
suspects?
Did they not
Wait.
redact it? They scrubbed it instead. So I
Okay,
need,
Bill
yeah, I
Clinton,
need.
Alan Dershowitz, Marvin Minsky, Bruce Willis, Cameron Diaz, Kate Beckind,
Oh, we already
Blanket,
knew
Kevin
about that
Spacey,
though.
Naomi Campbell, Leonardo DiCaprio, Prince Andrew, all the names that we already knew about.
Yeah, we already knew about those people.
That's what I'm
Okay.
saying.
Well, I'm gonna play this clip really quick of what it looks like with the cartel attack, and then we'll have everybody else respond. Here we go. Did you guys see it, or should I play it again?
Now we saw
That's
it. This
the
shit like Call of
precision.
Duty.
Yeah. Of
God
our
damn.
amazing military.
Wow. Oh.
Was Maduro on it? That's my question.
Hold on.
They said
Hold
11
on.
people died.
Can you zoom into that boat again? Because that does not look like a drug cartel like boat that has a lot of drugs on it.
I don't think I can zoom in. You'd have to zoom in, Kevin. But I'll go back. I can go back to the shot.
I just don't understand. Like, it doesn't look like that. That looks like people, not.
You're right. And I don't know if you guys know about Venezuela. I have family there. The boats go back and forth between the countries a lot. You have to get on a boat daily in some places, depending on where you live, just to get into work. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to say that it wasn't, but I just want to give backstory on that. Nevertheless, Skeptic, what's your thoughts on this attack today?
Well, the Venezuelan government has answered. I think it's a lot. Again, I go back to Latin America and how the United States has lost a lot of the soft power because the Mexican president came out today and said that, they are going to stand as a sovereign country. And she started talking about how the government has basically gone through all of these conflicts with America, one being the water agreement of 1944 between Tijuana and Colorado. There's been big issues with that. A lot of it comes from the fact that Mexico doesn't get as much rain, and so therefore they don't have water to, produce. Like, they literally don't have the water, but Tijuana hasn't had a good what is it? Like the treatment plants. So the government hasn't really put money into having a treatment plant, and so therefore they're not reusing the water. Like, it's a lot of issues that kind of have sprouted amongst America and Mexico. Mexico is currently America's #1 trade partner above China. So I think there's a lot more. Again, the whole Venezuela thing to me seems like it's a distraction from something else. I feel like America is trying to gain a lot of its power back. Venezuela and Maduro has stood strong against Trump and against America. They have made agreements with Russia and China instead of going to America on purpose, because they want to rid themselves of the power or, imperialism that America tries to have. So I think this is like, there's a reason why they're so interested in Venezuela. I think it goes beyond cartels again. Like the cartel's power in Venezuela is political. What they're doing is not political. They're not going to overturn the cartel's power in Venezuela unless you overturn the political power in Venezuela. So bombing a boat that was like, what change does that make? Again, like the logic to me just doesn't make any sense. And the fact that Mexico's government, like you saw the senators fighting, you see a lot of Mexicans now coming out and saying, deport all these Americans. We want them out right now. We want nothing to do with the American government. We don't want America involved in Mexico, period, point blank. It's starting to escalate even more. I think that America's handling of this is going to ultimately fire back at America. Like you're not going to gain more power by treating Latin America in the way that you used to do it in the 90s and in the 70s. It's not the same. We're in 2025. There are other countries that have just as much power, or maybe you don't realize how much power they have, how much power Russia, China, and these countries that hate America have, and how they will help the people that call themselves your allies because you've turned your back on them. So, I mean, honestly, I feel like this should be, everyone in America should be watching this, because I feel like this is going to be more influential and more of an effect to us than we think.
Well, I heard a lot of people saying, even in the chat, finally we're using our military to defend us or defend something that affects us. The drug issue is a major issue in this country. Thousands are dying from fentanyl. Enzo, what's your thoughts? Do you agree, or what do you think about, was this an overreach today?
No, I 100% agree. This is what I love about Trump. He literally shows us COD kill cams. That's exactly what it is. He showed us this with the Houthi rebels when they struck the boats when he first got into office, and to heaven. So yes, those are drug trafficking boats. My buddy is in the Coast Guard. He actually does interdiction in the Caribbean. He's in Puerto Rico.
Oh, so it's the Coast Guard's job, not the military's job.
Yeah, I know. No, I agree.
Okay.
I'm saying, like, no, those are drug trafficking boats. Like, typically they'll have like certain amount inside the boat, and then the entire lining of the hull will be full with drugs. So that's why
That
where all
looks
the
smaller
drugs.
to me than what like you would put.
Oh, that's like 40, 50 feet long.
Okay.
And it's gonna look smaller, but
Yeah, that's why I was like.
But the thing is this, Enzo, if it was a drug trafficking boat, why did they have so many people on there? There was 11 people, they said, that was unalive.
are we smuggling people too? Drug traffickers smuggle people too. Trust me, like I said, my buddy's in the Coast Guard. Like, he tells me about this shit all the time. He's like, yeah, we stopped a boat with like 500 pounds of this and that, and they had like 20 people trying to come to the United States too.
But that's where we should have used the Coast Guard for that to avoid.
Right. I mean, they probably
any
had their
type of,
surveillance to tell, like, if they probably had their surveillance to tell, like, if those were civilians or whatnot. I mean, you're not going to be sending around a bunch of guns if you're a civilian. I mean, that's probably. Listen, the United States has the best intelligence. They have the best surveillance. They're going to know who they're taking out before they take them out. That's the one thing that I will say. I agree 100% with what's going on, because, like Skeptic said, like, yeah, we can't keep treating Latin American countries like we did in the 70s, 80s, and 90s while propping up cartels through the CIA and all these three-letter organizations and asking them, this is our soft power. Hey, we're going to prop up these cartels to make your country better. No, actually, let's take the head off the snake that we created and stop keeping these problems going on that's going to hurt us at the end of the day. Like, it's ridiculous what the United States has done with these three-letter organizations propping up all these, like I said, the cartels. I think it's disgusting, and this is one of the biggest unalivers to Americans in the country is the drugs that are coming in from these countries. I agree. Take them out, and everyone was complaining a couple weeks ago when Donald Trump met with a dictator, and now everyone's complaining that he's going to take out a dictator. So, which one is it?
I wonder if like Americans would have the same viewpoint if there was an American boat with American civilians and Mexico bombed it because they said, oh, we found out, we had intel that they were carrying guns over, so we just bombed them. Yeah, they were all criminals, 11 American criminals. I wonder if America would be just as supportive if it was another country doing that to Americans. Like that's where the real conflict is, because Venezuela and the government of Venezuela is saying, we have reinforcements if America continues to bully the Caribbean. Like that's what they're saying. And other countries are like,
Cool.
who's America to come in and bomb a boat and make themselves the judge, the jury, and convict these people and say we're about to unalive 11 Venezuelans? Like
Your hypothetical is lacking context because, like I said, does the United States have 30, 40 years of putting guns and
Yes,
drugs
they do.
into
Yes,
these
they do.
countries? Okay,
They do.
then valid.
Actually,
Then it's valid.
no, actually, my hypothetical is actually very accurate. Not
Okay.
only that, but they also have basically supplied 80% of the guns that the cartel is currently using. So no, my
I'm
hypothetical still
aware,
stands.
and
Yeah.
I know, and I'm in agreement, and I'm in agreement with you. Abolish these three-letter organizations that are doing it. Thank
Hold
you.
on,
I know.
guys.
Thanks. Agreed.
Let's allow someone else a chance to go. Mia, you were pretty like against the government intervening over in another country. You talk about the military industrial complex a lot. Do you think that this is an example of that, or do you support this?
This is a prime example of the military industrial complex. I mean, our economy is holding on by a thread. And the only way that we can make money at this point in time is by feeding into the military complex. So war makes war bonds money, which makes America richer, which props up Europe and all of our allies. France is legitimately, they are broke. Greece is broke. Spain is broke. All of these countries everybody's broke. Everybody's tapped out of money. And at this point in time, I feel like this is just smoke and mirrors. And this is just a way to prop us into a war, because that is how we're going to continue to prop up our economy, because we're already seeing that AI propping up the economy isn't going to last very long. Our economy is shit right now, and it's being propped up by AI money. But once that money runs out, which it will, because it always does, then what do we have? We have the military complex. It is not America first to go in and murder people from another country. We would be bullshit. I'm sorry, but skeptics, correct. We would be crazy if somebody did that to us. At this point in time, it's just ridiculous. We are broke. We are tired. We are the sickest we've ever been. We're about to have plenty of people kicked off SNAP and all of these vital resources that poor Americans need. And we're worrying about murdering a bunch of Spanish people from another country. Why is everybody thinking that's okay? That is not America first. Why are we spending money? Let the Coast Guard do their job. Bring back the broader military. We don't need the Navy out there. We don't need all of that. Like, why are we spending money that we don't have to spend trying to attack another country? It legitimately doesn't make sense to me. Why are we worried about it? People are dying here and you don't see us trying to help them. I mean, why do we care? It just bothers me. It's not very America first to want to murder a bunch of people from another country for no reason other than allegedly their cartel, which, I mean, it is what it is. We created the cartel with our own money. So fuck them. If these people want to live with cartel, let them live with cartel. It's their problem. I don't live there. No offense to Venezuelans. I'm sure it's a great country, but I mean, if they're cool with the cartel, let them be cool with the cartel.
I mean, yeah, but the problem becomes now the Venezuelans have now made U.S. their home because they're saying they're running from cartels. Half of these people claiming asylum are running from cartels. Kamal, right. What's your thoughts? Do you agree with do you think we should be stepping in or should we mind our business?
First of all, Mia just said everybody broke. God damn.
We are 80% of Americans cannot afford a $500 accident or anything happening. That is indicative of a terrible economy. That's indicative we're broke. We have the most amount of credit card debt, the most amount of debt in the entire history of the United States. And we've been here for 400 goddamn years. And it is bad. And the fact that people aren't even recognizing how bad it is, legitimately, people can't even afford a $250 accident to happen. That tells you that it is bad.
Facts. Damn, we broke as hell, man. Damn. I'm about to go drink myself to sleep after this. God damn. Nah, but for real, I'm like, was it a drug boat? I don't know, but would this be considered the real war on drugs, unlike what Nixon and Reagan was talking about? I mean, shit. God damn. Shit, man. And I'm just like this, you feel me? Mia right, a lot of us broke as hell. France broke as hell. They over there fighting because they so goddamn broke. You know what I mean? And Skeptic, you right too, man. Them Latin countries, I done seen a black man get his ass whooped in Mexico, and they were like, get your ass back to the States. I dare my homie 2 weeks ago asked me, do I want to go to Mexico? Yeah, look, yeah, when I was there, it was lovely, but I know the climate now. They whooping every American's ass. Black American, white American, Indian American, they don't give a damn. They whooping your ass. They want you out of there, which I'm all fine with. You feel me? I'm fine with it. But at the end of the day, I don't know if that was a drug boat or not, but if it was, a lot of politicians about to be fucking mad. Because we know the drug game be paying a lot of politicians. Let's be real. So I'm going to be real. I think Trump messing people money up right now. We're going to hear something in a couple weeks. Watch. Trump messing up people money right now. That's how I feel about it.
Damn, that's all you focus on is the broke part. Come on. Where's the FBA talk, the illegals, the people come over here taking jobs? Like, come on now, bro. The tether talk, all that. I mean, y'all got heat. Like, no offense. Come on, I'm going to be real with you. This past week, I've seen so much heat. When people found out that the man that killed the people in the truck were Haitian elite or Haitian migrants, they quickly turned and said they didn't care. My point I'm making is we can't say we don't want people to come over here to our country. We got this problem at the border, and Trump is trying to fix the reasons why we have problems at the border. It's that simple.
Yeah, but I wasn't even focused on that when it came to this. I was really focused on the whole drug boat thing. I'm like, damn, is he really fighting the war on drugs and shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like at the end of the day, there's 11 less people coming over here gonna be taking jobs or some shit or doing some stuff. Like, so that's why I didn't even focus on it, because I'm like, I don't even need to focus on that. You feel me? Yeah.
Ooh, the finish line, keep moving. All right, Gray, let me hear it about how bad it is about the war on drugs and how in the 80s it was bad, and here we have it again.
There's a reason why there's a difference between the military and law enforcement. So basically, Trump has escalated force, what could be an act of war. If Venezuela wanted to say this and then go get other allies, Putin, Xi, and Modi from India are already meeting up to take on the U.S., and then you're doing something that can be considered an act of war. Also, being a veteran, I would have to speak about the soldiers, and myself watch soldiers because they were on suicide prevention, and they couldn't have their laces in their shoes. So basically, you want someone to go and delete some people and that not have any psychological trauma on them. So that's another thing. But law enforcement is catered to this because law enforcement knows that these people bringing these drugs over here are at the bottom of the totem pole of the drug organization. This is just some poor people that they convinced to go do this, where the law enforcement can actually go send undercover people to go try and like find who the head of the drug organization is and take out the actual drug organization, rather than killing the poor people that have nothing, that are getting a few $100,000 to go drive it over into the U.S. Not only that, the people in the U.S. who are buying the drugs. So now you're going to escalate them people with money that are paying for a large quantity of drugs. So this is why law enforcement and the military are separate.
All right, let's just allow the drugs in. Let's allow the border to be open. Anyways, gonna switch gears.
Hey, Secret Service Sam would like that shit. He like bring all the drugs in. Fuck it. I heard him on the like bring all that shit in. I was like, Secret Service Sam, yeah. Bruh.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, but testing companies, I'm sure, would make so much money. Just saying.
Facts. For real.
That would feed the prison industrial complex, right?
Well, speaking of the prison, or actually the military industrial complex, we're going to switch gears, go to the next story. Scholars declare Gaza crisis a genocide. Here we go. This was announced this week.
Association of Genocide Scholars says Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. The group's new resolution says, quote, Israel's policies and actions in Gaza meet the legal definition of genocide. They also say the actions amount to war crimes and crimes against humanity. Now the Hamas-run health ministry says starvation deaths in Gaza are surging. The ministry says 13 people, including children, have died in the last 24 hours, the highest daily number since the start of the war. ABC's foreign correspondent Marcus Moore has the latest. Marcus, the Israeli Foreign Ministry calls this resolution an embarrassment to the legal profession, saying it's based on Hamas's campaign of lies. What does this resolution mean for the war and for Israel?
Well, Diane, just a quick word about the organization itself. This is a group made up of scholars, researchers, and policymakers, among others, and the group says it is nonpartisan and focuses on genocide studies and prevention. There's really no indication that this will have any short-term impact on the war itself, but this report would be used as a record for any cases that go before the International Court of Justice or the International Criminal Court at The Hague. It's according to this group. And Israel has said that it is not committing a genocide, while others say the opposite is true, Diane, and that the proof is right in front of everyone to see.
So what's the latest on aid getting to civilians in Gaza?
Well, we know that the food distribution centers have been established in several parts of the Gaza Strip, and some trucks have been allowed to cross into the region. But overall, food is still scarce for so many. In fact, the Hamas-run health ministry says in the last 24 hours, 76 people have died, including at least 12 who were killed trying to get aid at one of these distribution sites. And then you have the issue of starvation. And Diane, really a staggering number to share with you. According to officials there, hospitals recorded 185 malnutrition-related deaths just in the month of August. And a famine was declared in Gaza City back in August. And so the situation there remains dire.
And the Israeli military is intensifying its efforts to seize Gaza City in the north-central part of the Gaza Strip. What's the IDF's latest on the IDF's operation there?
The IDF has carried out more strikes in Gaza. It says killing dozens of alleged members of Hamas, and these strikes have been happening in central and northern Gaza. Gaza City has been the focus of this looming expanded military operation that we've watched unfold, and we've witnessed a mass exodus of thousands of families who are trying to find a safe place amidst the bombardment. Now, Israel's prime minister says that the operation is necessary to defeat Hamas, and Diane also secure the release of the remaining 48 hostages.
Okay, so we're going to have a lot to talk about tonight. We'll break this up. Heaven, you are a member of the Man Cave, and you came here tonight in particular to talk about this. You have a family that you're close with. Can you talk about what is going on as far as like what they're seeing on the ground? Just share a couple stories.
Oh, yeah, I've been keeping an eye on this since the beginning, and it has been devastating. There are so many people that I have come into contact with, made connections with, that are no longer with us. Families with children. I'll be on lives on TikTok with them, conversing and hearing the sounds in the background, bombs and their children crying. It's just unfathomable, the destruction that's going on over there. Not just because of the bombing, but there's no water, there's no fuel, there's no sewage. They're sitting in their own sewage, which there's no hospitals, there's no medication. People and kids are getting sick with skin infections and rashes. And I know there have been so many doctors that have come back and spoken about children getting double tapped, military term, in the head. That is not a war. That is not a war that is not a war that is not a war. This is and has been a genocide. And there have been too many to count war crimes and crimes against humanity. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care where you're from. These are children. And no child should ever have to endure what they're enduring.
Facts. I agree. Kamal, about to put you on the spot because you said that by being a part of the new party, you learned a lot. What do you think about everything that have been said? And do you agree or disagree, or do you think it's inconclusive if this is actually a genocide at this point?
I mean, at this point, I'm gonna start calling Heaven Dr. Heaven. Call me Dr. Kamal. Everybody on this panel about to be a doctor, because damn it, if the scholars can see this as a genocide at this point, it's more like a no shit, Sherlock. What the fuck? How much they getting paid to be scholars? I'm about to be a scholar at this point. God damn, like, come on, man. Anybody with eyes, even Ray Charles could see this shit a genocide. Are you fucking kidding me? I don't need no damn scholars to tell me what I see and what I hear. Like, come on now. You feel me?
I will say I do need a scholar to add up how much of our tax dollars
that's going over there?
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, literally
now
$3
paying for the IGS.
$3 billion alone just this year. $3 billion just
that's
this year.
every year.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying already this year.
Yeah.
68 billion over the last 4 years under Biden. 12 billion under Trump in his first term.
Damn.
And then
keep going
they're
back.
projecting.
Keep going.
I know. I just looked at the last like 10 years.
This is yeah.
Oh no, going back to like fucking 49, hundreds of trillions at this point,
when
probably.
The state was first established. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just that's our money, y'all. Everybody that's watching, that's our money. That's your hard-earned dollars.
Yeah. So I'm going to play this next clip. It talks about the plan for Gaza because this is like breaking news. We are supporting this plan. So everybody watching, this is the American plan that is going to be implemented over there, and we'll talk about it. Also, for everyone watching, please hit the like button. Thank you for supporting the live tonight. Here we go. This is the plan to annex it.
Is serious about turning Gaza into the Riviera of the Middle East, turning that enclave into a tourist resort. New from the Washington Post today, discussions are underway between the administration and international partners to make that a reality for the future. So let's go back in time to the president's words in February about this very thing. Watch.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site, and get rid of the destroyed buildings.
So that statement came during a news conference, as you could just see there, following President Trump's meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Just as a reminder, at the time, Mr. Netanyahu said the idea should be considered. Apparently it is. So let's go live to Jerusalem and CBS News contributor Robert Berger. So, Robert, you heard the president say it there, we'll own it. Walk us through this plan as reported by the Washington Post journalists.
Right. According to the Washington Post, Gaza would become a trusteeship run by the United States for the next 10 years. And the idea is to create a tourism and high-tech hub along the Mediterranean. Now, here's the rub. According to the plan, nearly all the 2 million Palestinians in Gaza would have to be relocated, taken out of Gaza and moved somewhere else. And there's actually financial incentives, $5,000 to any Palestinian wishing to leave. That's a lot of money in Gaza. And also rent covered abroad for the next 4 years. One thing that isn't clear is where all of these Palestinians would go. One thing that in the report says that it would not be the United States.
So the question is, how do they get this done, even if there is a stomach for it? Because this is not a territory the United States owns, and yet the president said, we'll own it.
Yeah, implementing this is going to be very difficult. I mean, moving 2 million people out of Gaza, but already a huge portion of the Gaza population has already been displaced. And now Israel is conducting a major operation in Gaza City and wants to move another 800,000 people at least further south. So what's happening is Gazans are being moved into one part of the territory that was already extremely small. And then if and when the war ends, they would have to be moved somewhere else. And the conditions really aren't very good for them to go anywhere else. Gaza has been completely destroyed. So
No, your mama
from the U.S.
unintelligent.
and
Shut up,
Israeli
Nick.
point of view, Israel certainly supports this idea of what it calls voluntary relocation, kind of thinking outside of the box. But outside of the U.S. and Israel, virtually everyone else is opposed to this idea. They call it a war crime.
Well, and you know, we've heard from some of those UN member nations saying that they want a two-state solution. So this plan seems to be in direct conflict with what many European nations seem to want. Got to also ask you about some new reporting about an Israeli airstrike in Yemen, apparently killed the prime minister of the Houthi-controlled government there. So what does that mean for the ongoing conflict between the two sides in that one?
This was really a devastating strike on the Houthis, that group backed by Iran there in Yemen. The leadership had gathered to hear a speech by the leader of the Houthis, the supreme leader there. And the Israeli Air Force struck and took out pretty much the entire cabinet, 12 people, including the prime minister, 9 other cabinet ministers, and 2 other cabinet officials, virtually devastating the rulership. Today, there was a big funeral there in Sana'a with these flag-draped coffins. Now, as far as the future of the why did Israel do this? The Houthis have been firing ballistic missiles at Israel since pretty much the start of the Gaza war nearly 2 years ago. Israel says the strike was meant to stop that. The Houthis say they're going to continue firing missiles and drones at Israel.
Well, and it seems in that region that they have an emerging problem, and that is who's next? What kind of a bench? What kind of leadership there? Specifically to the Houthis in Yemen, you mentioned that whole cabinet wiped out. Who's going to lead?
Well, the supreme leader is still there, and
Okay, y'all, I'm sorry. It was a long clip, but there was lots to say about this. So, long story short, as you guys can see, there is a plan to pay every Gazan $10,000 to $20,000 to ask them to leave. For those that decide not to leave, they will be cattling them into sections of Gaza and basically having them live, long story short, under a police state. They will be militarized or protected or what's the term, like policed by the IDF. So either leave or stay and be uncomfortable.
So that's more of our taxpayer dollars, right? That they're gonna be sending over.
I would assume, because we're going to be the ones owning it. You know, we'll be the ones leasing the area, and I guess in return we would get the money back.
Retirement now as well. Their military retirement.
Enzo, what's your thoughts? Do you think that that's a fair deal for the Gazans, or what do you think about this conclusion to this?
I mean, this is not a war. This is straight up genocide. I keep saying it. I mean, I'm glad. I mean, they're getting something, but they shouldn't have to leave their home after Israel did what they did to them. It's like a double-edged sword. Like, I understand why they have to leave the area, but they shouldn't like have to leave the area and not be able to come back. That's my biggest fucking thing. Like, that's their land. That's where they're from. And to cattle them into areas and bring them south. I mean, Netanyahu looks like you pulling out of a old man Adolf's book right there. What you gonna do with them next? You're gonna put them in a certain area. Then what are you gonna do? Like, but if that happened to them in 2025, whole world will be up in arms. Can't do that to them, but it's a bunch of brown people. It's okay. It's okay. Don't look over here. We're gonna unalive the journalists. Don't look over here. Nothing's really going on. Bunch of fucking bullshit. Get AIPAC out of our fucking government. Stop funding all this bullshit. I'm sorry if you're going off like I am, but this is just disgusting. And it took them, hold on, how long? Almost 4 years to say it's a genocide. when everybody else has been saying it's a genocide. Okay, me, I'm a little fresh to this. Nora and Mia opened my eyes to exactly what was going on there. I'm gonna keep saying that for everybody that knows me from before. I just didn't care what was going on, and then Nora opened my eyes to everything, and now I'm seeing it for what it is. So, but it took them 4 years to understand this now. Everyone that's been paying attention to it, like you said, like come on, we all doctors, and I'm Dr. E, and I land my plane.
Okay, people in the chat, I said we're gonna have balance, so I'm gonna play another clip. This is about Israel's position, and then I'll let the ladies respond. Pretty much here, this is how it started, where we're at, what's the status of the hostages. Since everybody always says the hostages, the hostages. Here we go.
We got a lot of people out. If it wasn't for me, they wouldn't be out. I worked with BB and I worked with Steve Witkoff. But if it wasn't for me, you would have all these hostages would most likely be dead right now, every one of them. So they all come up here. They come in groups of 10, 12, 13, and many of them, and I've gotten to know a lot of them. They're great people. What they had to go through is incredible. But so now they have 20, but the 20 is actually probably not 20 because a couple maybe aren't around any longer. It's a terrible thing. No, I don't like anymore. I said, you know, when you get down to 20, they're not going to make deals anymore. And they didn't. And then I put out a statement, as you know, there was a tough statement, go in and get them. And they said, we'll give you 10, we'll give you 10. I don't know what Israel's doing, but they were willing now immediately to give us another 10. The situation has to end. It's extortion and it has to end. And we'll see what happens. I actually think they're safer in many ways if you went in and you really went in fast and you did it. And people can't forget October 7th, remember that. I'm friendly with all groups. I won the Arab vote in Michigan. I did so great with the Arab vote, remember? I started off at 0, I ended up winning. I wouldn't say the candidate was the greatest, but I would have won against anybody. They're great people. But we have to do things properly. And you know, I'm very proud to say I got the hostages out. You have hundreds of people that are living now because of me. And now we have that final little group of people. And Hamas knows that if they give them, that's probably the end of their lives. So it's not easy to get. And I know if you're a parent, you just don't care. You want, I want my baby back. They want their babies back. They want their kids back. And I understand it. But I got them out and did a good job. And we're doing everything we can to get the hostages out. Thank you all very much.
All right. So, Mia, what's your thoughts? The hostages are still there. You know, what do you think about the clip we watched and everything?
I mean, I'm sad that the hostages are still there. I'm obviously sad that there are any hostages at all. There shouldn't be any hostages whatsoever at all. And obviously what happened on October 7th was deplorable and despicable. No good. I think at the end of the day, we have a situation where an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. And these people are going to keep fighting and keep fighting and keep fighting. And unfortunately, Israel just, they made a better chess move of being friends with the United States. So now they get to eradicate an entire civilization of people right off the map, because it is a genocide, and that's what Israel's trying to do. They're trying to recreate their biblical greater Israel. I think that is their ultimate goal. I think that's what they're doing. I mean, that's where they want to be. They want to absorb all the land. They want to push out these individuals. And, you know, they also are antagonizing their neighbors as well. People act like it's so easy to take 10,000 American dollars, presumably, to move. But it's like, where would these Palestinians go? Where are they going? They can't go to Europe. Europe's tapped out. They're not accepting anymore. I mean, they're not going to go to Africa. They can't stay in their home. All of their Muslim neighbors have already said no. They literally have nowhere to go. So even offering them money to leave doesn't make any sense, because they literally have no place to go. They have nothing. So they're going to end up in these sequestered ghettos, which is very reminiscent of World War II, which is exactly what Germany did to the Jews. And it's interesting that the Jews are propagating this to the Palestinians. That's exactly what Hitler did to the Jews. And this is exactly what these people, these Israelis, are trying to do to the Gazan people. They're trying to put them in small little cities under heavy surveillance with military presence. They're trying to control them, and they're trying to subdue them, and they will use any means necessary. I mean, that is so crazy to me that, like, they didn't learn the first time. Now we're just going to replay World War II over again. Like, it's wild. I feel like people don't learn from history. They really don't learn, because tell me, what is the difference between what Germany did to the Jews and what the Jews are now trying to do to Palestinians? I'll wait. Chat, light me up. I'll wait. Tell me the difference. I'll wait. I'll read the chat.
You're muted. You're muted.
Skeptic, my fellow Christian. They keep saying in the chat, goes back to biblical times. They're talking about the Bible. Do you think any of this is connected to the Bible, or is this, war and principalities? You know the scripture, the Ephesians. Are we seeing that play out, or do you think that this is biblical, connected to what God wants done?
Number one, I think that Zionism has nothing to do with religion. I think that people use Zionism as if it has something to do with the, Judaic beliefs, but in reality, we know that the oldest Christian church was in Ethiopia. So this new state of Israel has nothing to do with like biblical beliefs or the Bible or scripture. So I think that's a cop out from people whenever they try and claim that, they're God's chosen people. No, this is a genocide, and these people cannot have a two-state, solution, because they would do this to us if we were there. We are less than them. We wouldn't be allowed to go to certain parts of Israel because we are not believers and we are non-believers, and therefore we're unclean, and we ourselves wouldn't be able to. We would be Palestinians, and if we were put in that position. So just keep in mind that you and all of your beliefs as a Christian, as an American Christian, you also would not be good enough to be in their city. You also wouldn't be good enough to be treated as an equal. So interesting note about that. Also, to the America First argument that people made. Sorry, my daughter was taken aback that she left my door open. I think it's interesting because here we are going to cut 15 million people out of healthcare, which is what the John Hopkins Institute of Health has concluded from the big, beautiful bill. 15 million Americans will go without health care, but we will send billions of dollars to Israel in order for them to unalive people that are indigenous to a land. Like, think about how crazy that is. And then scream America first. Like, just explain to me how that's America first, and why we're even in this land taking up for a country that has done nothing but take money from us, and then turn around and done nothing for our country. Like, it's crazy. And before Gray responds, it says no other Arab Muslim country wants these troublemaking freeloaders. Let me clarify that, because somebody that is of Middle Eastern, North African descent, that's not true. They don't want to take them in because they feel that's their land. Why would they take them in when they feel they need to stay there? They ain't gonna tell y'all this. They want them there. They want them to win. They feel it's their land. They go back to thousands of years, whether y'all like it or not. They can trace back thousands of years there. They not like, why would we take them in? It's like, if you come to my house, you knock on my door, can I stay with you? And then I'm like, well, why can't you go to your apartment? It's your apartment. Like, why would I take my friend in? My friend needs to go back and stay in her apartment. It's that simple. But anyways, Gray, I'll let you give the closing thought on the topic. What do you think?
Well, I agree with you that to the extent that Jews have been being sent everywhere since Moses. But the Zionist leader, Theodore Herzl, basically went to United Nations and they offer him East Africa, Uganda, and they offer him Argentina but he wanted to build Israel in the Middle East. And the company they made was the Jewish National Fund. And even though they tried to pay the Arabs debt and the Arabs refused, they still did sell them land, and that's how they ended up creating Israel, basically by creating that land. But I do feel like we do have to talk about the religious text that, and I'll let you explain it since we talked about it. And basically that in the Bible, it does say to some extent that this is going to happen, saying that Iran or Russia, you can explain it better, but that this is in the Bible to some extent.
I'm gonna let the minister on the call explain it. Minister Heaven. I mean, I was proven right. Heaven, I was right. Great try to tell me I was wrong. Can you explain what Gog is and Gog and Magog and Persia is?
We discussed before in one of my studies books that I have, study of Revelations, and it talks about the ruler of the north, and that I guess would line up with Russia right about now, and Persia would be Iran. All of these things do have biblical ties, but the way I look at it is things, we go on cycles. Did we not learn the first time? And here we are again. The things that are being perpetrated against everyone of all different faiths in Palestine right now, regardless of what Revelation says, we need to call it what it is. Regardless of what any religious text is, we need to not be disillusioned by religion and be able to sit with the reality of what this is and be honest with our own spirit. And that's speaking to every religion, because if your soul can sit right with this, then you're wrong.
What it says is that 40 nations are going to attack Israel. I don't know the exact, what was it, 10? And they have a symbol for each one, and they basically have that all these people are going to attack Israel. And the conspiracy book is called Behold a Pale Horse. And the reason it's called Behold a Pale Horse because the pale horse signifies death in the Bible when 4 horsemen show up for Revelations. And the guy that wrote this book was deleted, and he was killed by law enforcement. So people believe that this is all this conspiracy, and it's things like Tesla and where cars drive themselves and different things in this book that people feel like is happening right now.
If we're going to bring up the Bible, I like to be accurate. And so it is Ezekiel 38-39. And it talks about Gog and Magog prophecy. It describes a coalition of nations attacking Israel in the last days, with God defeating them dramatically. And supposedly it represents Russia and Iran as the two. So just want to be accurate. But anyways, nevertheless, we're going to start doing some closing thoughts. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah.
I didn't want to misquote. I didn't want to say anything without like having the text in front of me. So thank you. I know you guys are all real quick with the fingers and typing and looking up information. I'm like, let me get my hard copy book here. I got it all highlighted.
Well, you want to do your closing thoughts and talk about it, Heaven? And
no, it's fine. You clarified. So thank you. I just appreciate you clarifying. I didn't want to get it incorrect.
Nah, Heaven, you got to do your closing thoughts first, because I ain't gonna lie, closing thoughts be whooping your ass at times. You closing thoughts be.
She might need a moment. I'm gonna let somebody else
look
go
because
first.
we talk about so much. I have so many thoughts.
I
have to pick one. Then I'm like Rolodex of thoughts. Okay, give me a second. It's a lot of them. It's not my fault. I got so many tabs open.
I'm gonna let the quick-witted one go first. Skeptic, what's your closing thoughts?
I think she froze.
Oh no. Okay. Can you pull her down? Wait, never mind. I did it. She froze. Skeptic, are you there, Skeptic?
Are you muted, Skeptic?
Uh-oh.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, now we can. I
Okay.
was late. Okay, I'll let you go. Go ahead.
Sorry. I was gonna say with the whole like Israel thing, I don't normally like look into conspiracies or anything like that, but the October 7th thing to me just does seem to be a little bit like weird, being that the Egyptian government came out and said that they had warned Israel. I just feel like the way that they're going about it, and I saw an interview with a US doctor, think his name was like Muhammad Alil. He was talking about how they go over there and they help people in the Gaza Strip, and they're literally without water, without electricity, without any kind of like what they need to help people survive. And they're talking children, women, and it's like crazy because I hear like people from the Israel government deny it as if it's not actually happening, and then trying to explain away why they are unaliving people when they're literally asking for, medicine or food is crazy. So I do think that like I feel like there should be more of an outreach for this, which I always say this, but it's crazy. Like, it's really, really wild to think that our government is going to support this. What the current Israel state is doing is wild. And it's hard to explain away. I heard somebody say, if my mother came to my defense while a police officer was there, and she stands in front of me and the police officer just unalives my mom, and it's like, oh well, she was in the way, we're trying to get this criminal, like, people would be outraged by that. That's crazy. And that's literally what's happening. The same type of excuse that they're using to say, oh yeah, well, they were using this hospital, they're using whatever schools as a cover, is crazy to then unalive children. Like, it's still not a good excuse, and we still shouldn't be helping with our tax paying dollars to support this. Like, it's really wild. So I will say, just want to end the note on that, because I feel like that came up, and I'm just always like very astounded by how desensitized we have become by the topic overall. Follow us on TikTok. We have been having really good lives lately, so we are on Castos Live, or Follow Me Skeptic on TikTok. We go live. I want to say I've been consistently live at least once a day, so follow me on there.
You gotta hit us with your tagline.
Yeah, you never do it anymore.
Don't let anybody trample on your constitutional rights.
Yeah, there we go. Shit.
Heaven, you ready, or you want someone else to go for next?
I mean, I'll ramble something off if like.
Oh, I
always have plenty of thoughts.
Okay.
Because I can make it. Look. I'll land a plane real quick. Free Palestine, free Congo, free Sudan, free Tigray. And if you don't know about any of these conflicts that are going on globally, it might be really wise to educate yourself, because we are part of a global community. And I know us Americans over here, we forget it a lot, but we need to be better neighbors in our global community here, and care about each other.
Okay. Mia, you ready?
I'm ready. I'm good.
Okay, here you go.
Hey, so as for my final thoughts, if you are not already following us and subscribe to this channel, please like, follow, and subscribe to this channel. All of us are on TikTok as well. You can find me on TikTok, where that is where I live most of the time, at It's Mia Not Maya, and that's where most of my engagement is. But we are all on TikTok. You can find us all there. And as for my final thoughts, I'm American. I'm America first, no matter what. And I don't believe in any unnecessary wars. I don't believe in throwing away money on murdering innocent people. And I believe we should mind our fucking business. So Americans should stay in America, and our money should stay here. And we need to worry about ourselves, because what's coming is going to be big, and we need to stop spending money unnecessarily. And I'm going to land with that.
I'm sorry. Is this nigga Sean retarded in the chat? This nigga,
I'll let you go
next. I'm sorry. Mia just said she's America first, and bruh is like, everybody on the panel, Big Bad Wolf of America's a bully. Did you just listen to what she just said, you ignoramus? God damn it. You got two names I hate. I hated Stuart Little, and there was another dude that I knew named Sean. That motherfucker got on my nerves too. Of course you gonna get on my nerves. God damn. R-rated. He in the chat talk about he gonna deport my glasses. No, we're gonna deport one of your mama's wigs, okay? God damn. And Maya, as soon as you start saying everybody broke in America, here comes people in the chat. Oh man, bro, the guy got the cash out. He must be broke. Well, damn it, Mia just said that we all broke, god damn it, didn't she? That mean you broke too. Sit your ass down and learn something. God damn. Anyway.
Right. That means they need to hit our Cash App up. We're all broke. They need to start donating to us. Cash App's in the bio.
I bet these be the
Let's just take our
Yes,
taxes
ma'am.
back. Take our
This is
taxes
the
back
real
from the
flex.
government.
We didn't put none of their messages up, but yet they won't send a super chat. You want to make fun of us? Send the super chat. Your voice is like not being seen or heard. If you send the super chat, we put it on the screen for you. You can go support Kamal or you can do it on our side.
Damn, Nora calling y'all brokies because y'all ain't sending nothing through the super chat. God damn. Sean Stewart, bro. Hey, send a super chat, bro. We'll put one of your lame ass comments up there. You feel me? But anyway, this was a great show. Great panel. Love being on the show with y'all. Like I said, I'll be learning new stuff. Today the chat was jumping though. Even though some of y'all was kind of tarding out on the damn chat, I was like, God damn, bro. Especially Stuart Sean, man. God damn, boy, retarded. But anyway, Rhonda Clantes almost made me throw up. Brandon Johnson on the bullshit. And you see how one's a Democrat, one's a Republican? That's why I'm apolitical. It is a genocide going on in Gaza. If you got fucking eyes, even Ray Charles can see that shit. And what else? Donald Trump out here. I don't know if it's a drug boat, but if it was, is he really fighting the war against drugs, or is it something more sinister going on? I don't the hell know. All right. But I do know Sean Stewart need to get the gerbil out his ass and quit playing patty cake with Rated R. Shout out to everybody else in the chat though. Y'all's cool in the chat, you feel me? I'm done. I don't want to talk about nobody else in the chat. Appreciate y'all on the panel. You feel me? Y'all go follow everybody on the panel. Follow the new party. Pin on my channel. It's pinned to the top of the chat. Go follow the new party. And then on my end, Kamal Johnson Network. Come over there. You detractors come over there. Sean Stewart and Rated R and the other motherfucker that was too broke to have even a username. He said I'm broke. Your name is subscriber. How? What? Come over to Kamal Johnson Network and say that shit. All right? God damn. Y'all be fucking stuck on stupid. One person say one opinion, everybody in the chat. Oh my God, all y'all think the same. Bro, one person talked. What are y'all talking about? We got multiple people on here with multiple different opinions on shit. Good Lord.
Maybe they'll be happy when they see a white tee face, even though he's not white tee. Here you go, Enzo.
Yeah, they get on Enzo case too. They were talking shit in the chat about Enzo. I'm like, God damn.
Locally hated.
The chat didn't like Nova.
Hey, why y'all gotta put me after? Come on, man. I'm cracking up. I lost my train of thought.
My bad.
No, you good, bro. This was a great episode. Like I keep saying, I love the long form streams that we're doing now. We talked about a lot tonight. Most importantly, Ron, come on, just stop the shit. You made Florida good. Now you're ruining it again. You're going too far. You're a radical. And this is why I love the panel altogether, because you have me and Nora, the other two conservatives on the panel. They balance me out. I agree with what you were saying, Mia, altogether with America First. I'm looking at it through a different lens with what they're doing by taking down the cartels, by stopping the drug flow coming into this country, by stopping the illegals coming into this country, by militarizing what they're doing off the coast of Venezuela, what they're militarizing the border, by not letting that many illegals in. I mean, it's been down 92% since Trump came into office. What he's doing. I agree with that 100%. That's my version of America First. That's what I think is best for America. And I respect everybody's opinions whatsoever. Like I said, that's just subjective to me. That's what I think it is best. And most importantly, going to close with Gaza. You either die here or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. You took a page out of fucking Adolf's book and you're doing exactly what to them. Get AIPAC out of the government. Stop funding Israel altogether. Stop funding this genocide. World, wake the fuck up and actually stop what's going on. Dr. E out.
Man, Enzo, that's why they getting your TikTok, bro. That's why they going after your TikTok because certain things is being said, bro.
Oh
Take
Lord.
me down for speaking the truth.
Yep, bro. Shit, man.
Hold on, Gray. I had to move you. Okay. Where's your
Oh,
closing
can I say one
thoughts?
more thing? My bad, Gray. Go ahead. My fault, bro.
No, go ahead. What you want to say?
Y'all want to know somebody called me an Uncle Tom in the chat because I said Ron DeSantis is a cracker? They called me an Uncle Tom.
Laura got mad that you said that too.
What?
Yeah, for sure. But if you're watching right now, hit the subscribe button and press the notification bell to know when we go live. I want to pair what Kamal said about the chat jumping and like, you know, the views are getting bigger and bigger. And it's thanks to the cast. I feel like all of us pull our weight, all of us do all types of different stuff. And that's what's got us to this point. And I feel like we'll all be successful together. And like Skeptic said, like, let's do a meet and greet next year. And I feel like by that time, hopefully we're like super huge and like we just continue going down this path. As far as everything that we talked about today, I would say that it mostly is around nationalism. And I have no problem with nationalism. It's just that nationalism itself is not bad, but nationalists can lead to other things if you hate other groups or you're trying to create something just based on what the government wants. So for me, I feel like everybody can have their own train of thought, but sometimes we should just do what makes sense or what mathematically or scientifically makes sense. Other than that, it was a great show. Thank you, everybody. Like we always say on New Party, always vote.
Okay, guys. So thank you to the team. Thank you to John, our amazing mod. We are looking for moderators. You need to come and behave first, and then we can make your mod. I don't know if I trust some of y'all, but nevertheless, thank you to all the new fans that we have and the supporters. Shout out to the team. So my closing thought is this. I'm going to end on 1 Peter 2:9. But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. And the chosen people is the church of Christ, the bride of Christ. So there you go. That's my closing thoughts. God bless. Have a good evening.